Greetings, heroes and force users of all ages, and welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. As always, I'm Dino Nicandros, and I'm joined by my very dear friend, Daniel Dawson.
Hello there.
And today we are talking the newest offering from Star Wars in the animated realm, Tales of the Empire. Directed by Dave Filoni, Nathaniel Villanueva, Stuart Lee, and Sal Ruiz. Written by Dave Filoni, Amanda Rose Munoz, Matt Miknovitz, and Nicholas Anastasiou. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Nicholas. And by God, we're Star Wars fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron.
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
Hello there, Daniel.
Very spooky introduction. So spooky.
Tales of the Empire.
Making us really lean in.
Yeah, Tales of the Empire.
Something.
Something dark side. Death Star. How are you?
Oh, God, I'm great. I mean, all things considered.
Yes.
No, things are good. I mean, it's been a while. Like, when was the last time we did an episode? It was
March. It was Dune. Yeah, we did Dune Part 2, and then we took a hiatus.
1,200 years ago.
Because life comes at you fast.
It
and
does. It really
all
does.
three of us, to our loving audience, all three of us have had various obligations, adult obligations to attend to.
Yeah, we're all in porn now.
and figuring out schedules is impossible. But here we are. We are recording a day after May the 4th, but I do believe it is appropriate to say May the 4th be with you, Daniel, and to our listeners.
Yes, and also with you. But
And
also
happy Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 6th, almost.
Well, Revenge of the 5th, but I guess it could also be Revenge of the 6th.
Yeah, basically, probably when this is being released, yeah.
Return of the 6th.
Which is probably more appropriate for what we're covering in this episode. Spooky times.
Well, I must say, when this trailer dropped, I didn't know this. I guess I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't know this was a thing. And then when the trailer dropped, I was like,
how could we have not known? I feel like it totally went way over my head too. And I'm like, what? Of course this is a thing.
So when this trailer appeared, I was giddy.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I literally was like watching it was it last night? Yeah, last night.
Yes.
And I text both Alyssa and Dino. I was like, I could literally hear Dino vigorously masturbating all the way from New York. Just so happy.
Only because this isn't a subject matter we've spent a lot of time in. We broach it in the series, but for obvious reasons, we focus on our heroes. And,
sure.
But this gave us very interesting insight into two characters. I'm fascinated by the choice of characters here, actually.
It's because they're dead. That's why.
Well,
I mean, I guess technically you could say
one is dead and one was unresolved up until this point. So
right. Although now, okay, yeah. I mean, maybe I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I'm hoping that you can help me, because we did see Barriss's dead body in one of the cartoons. Am I insane?
Well, when last we left Barriss, if my memory serves me, and if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody can correct us.
You're wrong.
Be active in the comments and tell me I'm a fool. But this is actually a good segue into Barriss's history. So we know her as a Jedi, and over the course of the Clone Wars, she becomes disillusioned with the Jedi Order and their role in the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
There's some very clear parallels to.
This is a story arc in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Correct. and
Yes.
it heavily involves Ahsoka. So it
Right.
is
A very
it is
pivotal
worth
moment for Ahsoka.
right. It is worth revisiting if
Yeah.
you've watched the Clone Wars but Barriss becomes incredibly disillusioned with the Jedi Order, and she helps. This is a long story short. She helps uh, facilitate a terrorist attack on the Jedi Temple, and
Oops.
it gets Ahsoka framed for this. So Ahsoka stands trial for
Right.
Barriss's uh, offenses, and obviously Ahsoka gets off, but she leaves the Jedi Order, and Barriss ends up in a Republic prison, and that is where we leave her.
Right. But am I insane that I believe in the last season of Clone Wars, the one that came out, more recently, like, is it then, or is it in Rebels? It's some rant. You're gonna help me out, because like the heroes, whoever they are, which I think it might be actually Rebels, they're like they've received some kind of like distress signal, and it's like it's Barriss, and Barriss, the Empire is using Barriss as like bait, but then they get there and Barriss is like just a dead body in a coffin. Am I insane? Did I make that story up?
I'm trying to remember because it's never confirmed that Barriss is dead.
Is that true? Because then,
Like, Barriss is left in prison, and that's why the story was. I'm trying to remember what you're referring to.
yeah,
Because
right,
I'm
I'm looking it up.
actually confusing that with a storyline in Clone Wars.
What am I thinking of? So I just hear like hundreds of Star Wars nerds watching this screaming, like, you
but
fucking fool! That's not what it is.
But there is a Clone Wars arc where they use Sifo Dyas as where Sidious uses Sifo Dyas as a bait for Yoda.
Oh, maybe that's
when Yoda goes to Moraband. But
I don't know.
Perhaps I'm missing something, but I am certain that Barriss ends up in Republic prison.
Yeah,
which is basically where this picks up immediately for her story. And I guess we can start with Barriss's story. So when we first see her,
yep. Okay, sorry, I've just looked it up. It's Luminara. It has nothing to do.
Oh yeah,
and it's in Rebels.
Yes,
it's Master Luminara who died during Order 66.
Right.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember who it was, but
I'm really glad that because I was literally thinking about it I was thinking about that since last night and mixing those things up. It's been a long time since I've watched Rebels. I need to watch it again.
Yes. But Barriss is in a Republic prison, and that's basically where her story in this series picks up. She's
her story
in prison, and she's watching the Jedi Temple burn, and then the former Jedi that we now know as Fourth Sister comes in and informs her that the Jedi have betrayed the Republic, that her worst fears were confirmed, that Barriss was correct, the Jedi were corrupt, and they attempted to upend the Republic. And Barriss is basically inducted into the ranks of the Inquisitorius, and that's where her story picks up. My question to you is,
ask away.
Are you glad they picked up was this a storyline that you were interested in pursuing? Did you even remember it?
Of course I remembered it, because I mean, mostly just because of how pivotal it was for Ahsoka. Because I mean, like, yeah, Barriss was like the means to an end for Ahsoka, quite literally. But as far as her story being left open, that never bothered me, though. I wasn't like, I wish I knew the end of her story, because I was like, oh, she's in fucking prison for the rest of her life, or who knows what. But it's not that I didn't care, but this was definitely not expected. And am I thoroughly happy about it? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious too if Dave Filoni, if this was like another. I'm sure there's going to be a behind the scenes or a little interview about it, but like I remember when he was talking about Tales of the Jedi, and it was basically just like, you know, he was on a flight to like I think LA or something, and he was just like, "Yeah, this would be kind of cool." Just started like writing some things down, and then that was that. I'm wondering if that happened around the same time, or you know, the Tales of the Empire situation, or if it was a little more thought out and planned.
Well, and
after
you know, picking Barriss, but then, and we'll get to her in a moment, but picking Morgan Elsbeth as well. Interesting choices considering the groundwork that has now been laid in the live action TV series. And I do think it adds a little more vision and color and direction.
Yeah.
For where we're headed. Particularly with Morgan, but we'll get there in a second. But I found Barriss's storyline particularly brutal, even by Star Wars standards. We very clearly see the fourth sister commit mass murder.
Yikes.
Which Star Wars has always, as dark as it gets, has always been geared towards children, and this is the first time in a very long time that I went, ugh.
I don't know.
They really didn't pull any punches as far as her art goes. And Barriss kind of watches.
Yeah, right. She I mean, it's not she doesn't do nothing, but she definitely doesn't do as much as she should have.
But even as an Inquisitor, you see this tactic she uses to get information about hidden Jedi. She's very empathetic and I don't know. She tries the understanding route, and the fourth sister is very angry, and
it's very clear that it's interesting too that that Barriss there's not that there's parallels, but it's interesting because like Barriss being Ahsoka's sort of means to an end.
Yeah.
Because like Barriss and Ahsoka kind of like they saw the same thing. Like there was issues with the Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You know, Barriss is like, okay, well, you know, maybe well, she didn't. In these episodes, it kind of like. She didn't have much of a choice then to, I mean, she could have just chosen death, I guess, or, you know, attempted to escape the Empire, but she decided to kind of go along with it to see if it was, you know, suiting her, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think that she's it seems like she's somewhere in the middle, but like leaning dark, at least at first. And then she's now kind of, I think it sort of like ends with her kind of in the same place that Ahsoka is almost.
Yeah.
Like good, but still denying like the Jedi Order.
Right. Yeah. Your point, you took the words right out of my mouth. Your point is well taken that she and Ahsoka are foils, and Ahsoka is on the light side of ambiguous, as you just said, and Barriss is on the dark side of ambiguous, but at least for a time. But but
for enough time to kill a bunch of innocent people.
But I wonder too. So speaking of using this show as another opportunity to kind of lay groundwork, which I assume Dave Filoni is doing here, Barriss, you know, ends up she takes on the role of a healer when we see her in the third episode of her arc, and kind of existing outside of the Jedi Order but doing good.
Right.
I wonder if this is very subtle groundwork for where we see Rey go with a new Jedi Order built in the image, you know, built under a different set of rules, perhaps less stringent.
I kept on thinking because, you know, she says like, oh, wait, forgive me, because maybe they did resolve that and I just forgot. But like, at the end, she's just like, when they find this force sensitive baby, and he's like, "Oh, I have a friend. She'll know what to do with. She'll I think that she even like genders the person, right? Doesn't she call him a she? Barriss call
yes,
her.
yeah.
Yeah, like she'll know what to do, kind of thing. Because we don't really. Assumedly this is around this like not that much longer after.
Well,
You know,
this is still before a new. I mean, this is still before A New Hope.
yeah.
So
Okay. Great.
this
So it's
is
before Rebels. It's
yes,
before. Yeah.
yeah.
So assumedly it's Ahsoka,
I
maybe.
thought she was talking about Ahsoka, but if you have different thoughts on this, please chime in. But
Well,
I thought that's who she was talking about.
so my other theories, because during this time period, if I'm not mistaken, we also have the video game series that's happening, and there is this like the path that we've been talking about, and they started like putting the groundwork for that in the live action shows, like in Obi-Wan. We saw little hints of the path, and I'm thinking there might have been something else too that I'm forgetting, but it does feel like we're yeah, they're these are little bricks. That's not like giant like things that are being put in the ground, but it does feel like there are like he is building something for later, whatever that is.
Yeah, no, I think so. And Barriss's initiation into the Inquisitorius is particularly brutal.
I was very interested in that because I don't, to my knowledge, that's the first time we've ever seen like the Inquisitor initiation.
Yes.
Thing that was very spooky and scary and fun all at the same time.
So she has to face off against another Jedi acquaintance of her. His name's Dante, and
stupid Dante.
And I was really wondering how they were going to resolve the moment where the Grand Inquisitor says, "All right, you've both gotten this far, but only one of you can join our ranks." And he tosses a lightsaber down to them, and
good luck.
I
then they both reach for the lightsaber.
Right.
Lightsaber.
Oh, there's your musical theater.
Both reached for.
But I was curious to see what was going to happen there, because I was very doubtful, even in Barriss's disillusioned state, that she was going to kill in cold blood. So I
am happy they kind of threw
Dante
that bone.
made her kill him.
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of happy that happened too, because it's really kind of hard to. Yeah, like she was a redeemable character in this arc for sure. It definitely didn't feel quite as much of a whiplash as I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, a whiplash would be, at least for me, would have been I mean, I don't know. Is it arguable? Ben's
oh yeah.
Him in Rise of Skywalker coming back at the end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I completely would buy that take. But I mean, even going back to when he kills his father, you can sense there's struggle in him.
Remorse. Yeah.
And Snoke even remarks on it. He's like,
yeah, you little pussy. Yeah.
He says, the deed splits you to the bone. Like you're
you are a failure.
But yeah, I think having the perspective that she and Ahsoka are kind of kindred spirits, perhaps on opposite ends of the spectrum, but but she was still redeemable, because none of these atrocities happened by her hand. Although I do find it difficult to forgive her for letting a bomb go off in the Jedi Temple, and
Yeah,
which ended up
that
killing
wasn't great.
Jedi, and then
Wasn't great.
framing Ahsoka for it is pretty messed
But now
up.
you're like I'm hearing Dino like screaming in my head, but the rebels are all terrorists too,
I mean, they are a threat to order and
I mean, they
security.
killed like hundreds of thousands of people on the Death Star. My God.
I mean, and think of all the jobs they cost.
the jobs they took away.
The job loss.
Oh my God.
I mean,
damn
and
rebels.
talk about inflation. I mean,
in this economy,
the taxpayers are going to be paying off 2 Death Stars for
jeez,
in perpetuity.
These damn rebels.
Damn rebels.
That's it.
I thought the animation has come so far.
It really has.
It is effing unbelievable.
It's beautiful.
What they are achieving with animation.
It's all done so artfully. I know it sounds like stupid, but it like, and we've said this on the show before, but like it does feel like every frame feels like its own little art piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as the years go by, I mean, going back to the beginning of Clone Wars in 2008, where they are now with their art direction and what is achievable, they're getting closer and closer to real life.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple moments, and even Vader's design in this particular animation, I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah. Very, very cool.
This looks unbelievable.
Very,
The Grand
very
Inquisitor, we only know him from Rebels animation, but
I just remember like because Clone Wars was the first one, right? Before
Yes.
Rebels?
Yes.
Yeah. And just it was a very like not a hard pill to swallow, but like the animation style felt.
Well, yeah, it was the animation style for Rebels was based off of Ralph McQuarrie's, who, if you don't know who that name is, listeners, Ralph McQuarrie was famously the concept artist for the original Star Wars movies. So he came up with the look for Star Wars, and the characters,
but just in the movement of the characters.
Yes.
Like the way they like the motion of the show felt very like weird. It was just like something that I think that none of us were used to.
And the characters were really a rendering of Ralph McQuarrie's interpretation. So very angular. But the Clone Wars started off very, I'm using quotes, very animated. But where they are now is hyper realism. In the animated space, and it is breathtaking.
Very, very cool.
I don't know. I do hope we get a behind the scenes look, because some of the lightsaber choreography, even if you'll remember the last season of Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore, they actually motion captured Darth Maul.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
Ahsoka for their duel. So I'd be very curious to know if they did the same here, because
and for Morgan too, because like there's some dope.
There's some really thrilling choreography that was achieved.
And I freaking loved her scene with Thrawn, and that's the part where I was just like, oh, like Dino is just like, yeah, this is nice.
Well, since we're there, Morgan was a fascinating choice.
Yeah, very
fascinating. Because we obviously spoiler.
Big spoilers.
She gives herself up. She's basically sacrificed by Thrawn.
She's dead.
Now,
series. we could argue that, we've seen the witches bring dead people back to life again, you know? So,
yes. But for all intents and purposes, she is dead, and
she did.
And even if she were alive, she'd be trapped on Peridia.
Right. She ain't with her boyfriend Thrawn anymore. Poor thing. She only had him for just a couple of minutes.
But choosing her Well, one, I'm actually glad we got kind of a look into how the Empire, and Thrawn in particular, enlists her into service.
And also the just about Thrawn being like with the Empire, but being like so like his ego is so huge that he's just like, I'm above it. Like I'm for the Empire because it serves my purposes too, but like
you're
I'm
absolutely
kind of doing
right.
my own thing.
But I think ego is a good way to put it. Thrawn always sees 3 moves ahead of everybody else. So he's telling Morgan, this is how the Empire falls. They become self-satisfied and bloated, and it will inevitably collapse. He already knows this.
Mm-hmm.
And then couple that with setting up his fascination of the Night Sisters, and even so early on, makes sense. I don't know if he has already started to formulate a plan on how to manipulate, Night Sister magic to use it for his own ends. But I thought it was very wise to have a conversation between the two of them,
Mm-hmm.
where he says, I've studied your Night Sisters. I respect your abilities, and I love how he sees through when she's being kind of I don't know, interviewed by Captain Palion.
Yes.
And he asks her, why do you want Imperial favor? And he said, well, for the glory of Empire, of course. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
But Thrawn sees right through it, because he himself has always had a larger goal. If you go back to the
takes
books,
one to know one.
If you go back to the books, his interest was finding a power suitable to defend his own people, the Chiss. And that's why he enlists in the Empire to begin with, was if I do right by them, maybe they'll, if I scratch their back, maybe they'll scratch mine. And I don't know. I like that they took the time to sprinkle the seeds of what we see Thrawn doing in the Ahsoka series, and what he will inevitably be doing on the big screen in the years to come.
Wow. Very excited for that. Side note.
Yes.
Did you finally play? I can't remember if you started playing or if you were gonna and then you never did, but the second Jedi Survivor.
I have not played it, but I confess I have watched playthroughs of it.
Okay,
I know the story.
You know the things.
Okay, I'm caught up on.
Okay, that's good. I just wondered if you knew that there was an NPC in it, and this is also a little, very minor spoiler, because it's a kind of an inconsequential NPC, but there is another Chiss. It's the first time you've seen another Chiss, I think, in Star Wars,
in the new Star, in the canon Star Wars, not the old Legends. But
so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But also kind of random that very inconsequential. So, but yeah, loved seeing that. That was fun.
Well, and I was just glad to fill in Morgan's story as growing up a Night Sister, and
totally,
and it throws you right into the middle of Grievous's attack on Dathomir, and
oh my god, he's so menacing and evil, and instead of just taunting. I don't know, he in the films, or even in the cartoon too, he was a little more I don't know, general is that the right word? But in this, he was just this evil, just
mustache twirling.
It felt like we were seeing it through these child's eyes. You know what I mean? Because if a child would look at this menacing creature, and just that would be what I would remember. This maniacal, laughing, scary, mechanical.
But I remember saying during our review episodes of Ahsoka, I thought Morgan's Night Sister origins were kind of not shoehorned in, but perhaps she was repurposed.
Yeah.
But now
I
I'm
remember
kind of
that
led to
now.
believe that from the very beginning that was the intention. And even if it wasn't, which I do I do in my heart of hearts believe that's where they wanted to go with her.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I appreciate
I'm still not 100% convinced, but I feel like they made it work.
but I appreciate here that they created
doubled
that
down on it.
backstory for her.
Yeah,
And once
same.
the Night Sisters were wiped out, her magic was therefore inaccessible to her.
I totally buy it.
And then
like just that very simple explanation, and the cool like effect of seeing her like facial markings sort of going away, like all of that was like really great, super smart.
And then it makes for a natural conclusion when when we see her in Ahsoka and she regains her
Her
powers.
mojo.
Uh,
Which I still don't 100%, and I don't know if they'll ever explain this, and that's okay, because it's nice having the Night Sister magic be sort of mystical and mysterious, but like what does there need to be in order to how do you have enough night sister energy to get your mojo back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why couldn't she just do it on her own? Like, why does she need to have a coven? Like, and how many witches does it take to make a coven?
Yeah. I mean, I guess at least 3.
I guess at least 3. Maybe that's the thing.
I don't.
And you need to have a mother.
But yeah, I like that they said
the problem. I'm sorry.
Like the Night Sisters. I like that they set the stage for Thrawn's allegiance with these people is not out of thin air now.
Totally. And he's like, yeah, it's very interesting too, because I think this is, I think, the first that we've seen Thrawn like a talent agent. You know what I mean? Like going around.
And this is before he's reached the rank of Grand Admiral. He is still on the
Admiral Thrawn.
He's still on his he's an up and comer, and he's climbing the Imperial social ladder here, and so it is useful information that their relationship goes as far back as it does.
Yeah, it almost feels like Morgan has got the hots for him.
Well, and also this 3-episode arc for her makes her seem so petty.
Yeah, totally.
Like, she calls in Imperial favor because the people don't like her. Like, they don't like me.
It's like, oh, come on, Morgan. But like, it's like she from like the first to the second episode, well, even the third episode, like she just kind of like keeps causing mayhem because she just won't get out of her own way, almost, basically. You know? Yeah. I mean, the first episode is not really her fault, obviously, but like I just popped in my head, new lore that they like, kind of fairly large lore, that they dropped about Dathomir, that there's, at least to my knowledge, I didn't know about them, the mountain people.
Yes. He caught me mid yawn. Yes, I don't care, but fine. No, a mountain tribe of magic users.
Well, it's interesting. So, like, we kind of we really the first time we've sort of dipped into this idea of Force users that are not Jedi and Sith. Really I mean, you could say that the Night Sisters are kind of the first thing, but then they really delved a lot deeper into it in the video games.
Yes.
Like there's always there's usually users of both the light and the dark side of the Force that are not Jedi and Sith. And this is an example of that, because it kind of feels like the Night Sisters are sort of dipping their toes into the dark side, and and whoever these mountain people, because like just with the color scheme, I know it's so silly, but like, you know, when that the mother, I can't remember if she has a name, but
Talzin?
no, sorry,
You're talking
in
about
the mountain mother, we'll
people.
call her.
Yeah.
Mountain Mama. When she comes in to sort of defend her daughter and like the girls, she like puts out this beam of white light, you know, it's very like bright, you know, and
it's almost like a Patronus.
Yeah, totally. Expecto. Yeah, and so you see like the Night Sisters magic is more like greens and purples and spooky colors. So yeah, living on the same planet, you have like light and dark users. It feels like the dark side is kind of a little more, you know, used a little more on that planet, maybe. But I mean, so far we've only seen very like small portions of these planets. Yeah, like very often we only see like little chunks of these planets, like in Tatooine, you know, we see it as like a desert planet, but like we've only seen like a couple of cities, you know, like I know that it is definitely all desert, but like who's to say the other side of the planet doesn't have like a midnight at the Oasis?
Well, Tatooine used to be an ocean,
right? That we learned,
much like Dune,
right? Oh my gosh, I wonder where they got the inspiration. The silence is deafening.
Silence is deafening. Yes, I was honestly, I watched all 6 in one sitting.
Yeah,
it's very
easily.
Easy to do. They're 15 minutes each.
I mean, yeah, it helps that they're really short, but also they were just really entertaining.
And yeah, I mean, our running joke aside of me taking up for villains, I do enjoy when we get into this realm, because it just goes into, I don't know, there's something to be said for going into our uncharted territory and not knowing where things go. And as far as Barriss's arc in this, going back to Barriss, it takes you on a ride.
It does. I truly did not. I wasn't sure where it was going to end, but I don't think that I just because I maybe it was because of the tales of the Empire. I'm just assuming that everything is going to end tragically. So I mean, it did end tragically.
And it does. It does, but not, maybe not in the way you originally thought it would. And Barriss,
exactly right.
Barriss kind of accidentally being killed, but trying to do the right thing, and then the tragedy really of the fourth sister. You can see her really struggling. And then again, we see the fourth sister in Obi-Wan. So we knew no redemption was coming, but the fact that there's doubt, in the perhaps the path she's chosen, even for a moment, I think is really interesting, and even adds colors to characters that were otherwise, I don't know,
just makes her
secondary and not relevant. But now when you watch Obi-Wan, perhaps, and even though the fourth sister doesn't have a lot to say, knowing that there's doubt in the ranks of even these really awful people, I think is compelling.
This is like the beauty of Dave Filoni's work. It's like he it seems to, and now he's kind of doing it for his own work too, but he's really good at like threading needles to make you have a greater respect for like characters you didn't really care about, like in previous previous iterations of Star Wars. Very cool.
Well, and we've mentioned it a few times in this episode, but because Dave Filoni was directly involved with directing and writing this, you knew any tiny bits of information he dropped are going to be useful. There was, the purpose for this was not to look back so much as to sprinkle in things to look forward. And
And also, like, fix some. He's always he's a lover of fixing plot holes.
Yes. Yes.
The Morgan Elsbeth's PowerPoint presentation about putting on deflector shields on, and he's like, oh, that's gonna cost way too much money. You know what I mean? Like, great.
But another, and it perhaps fixes plot holes, but also it's just a fantastic detail into the Empire making all the wrong decisions.
Yeah, right.
And to your point you made earlier about Thrawn's ego, but Thrawn it was in a couple of the books and some of the comics as well, and then even in Rebels for a bit, where Thrawn is vehemently pushing against Project Stardust, and he wants to fund his special TIE fighters instead, because he's like, I'd rather put funds into building a giant ass navy than a one singular weapon that, if destroyed, would ruin us economically.
Oops.
He's like, I think 1,000 Star Destroyers are better than one Death Star.
I think he was probably right.
And he was right. And
oops.
But just showing even the bureaucratic rot within the Empire is really valuable.
I hope he drags the Empire, like, in this new live film. Like, I hope he just drags them, just like, these fucking Empire people, like, just didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm really fascinated to see what his opinion is on guys like Gideon, and just like wasting time with all of this bullshit. And he's like, well, I just brought an undead army back from another galaxy. So
yeah, but I also wonder too, if there's, because there must be whispers, more than whispers, just the whole freaking planet, about the fact that the giant, it's just another Death Star, but the Star Killer base, if that's
formerly the planet Elam,
right? Elam. Yeah, I assumedly he knows about it and is gonna like comment on it, and
possible.
I'm just curious if he's like, yeah, it's a good project, or like, oh, these fucking idiots for doing this all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be interesting to know if they fill that in, because well,
I am vastly interested.
I don't know, because we have to assume Thrawn doesn't make it to the time of the First Order. Like, he's probably gonna eat it in this interim period.
Yeah,
in the 30-year interim.
Yeah, remind me again. So, because timelines are so fucking crazy. The Mandalorian timeline
is about 9 years after Return of the Jedi.
That's right.
That would make it like 21 years before Force Awakens.
Before Force Awakens, got it. Yeah, and arguably, well, I mean, I guess there's really no telling, but the film is probably not going to go too much further than where they're at now.
No. So
yeah,
we're still.
I mean, that being said, and as we've seen with which we're hopefully going to be covering the rest of the Bad Batch this week, but and this is also a spoiler alert if you haven't finished Bad Batch, and it's really, really good, by the way. But Dave Filoni is a fan of time jumps.
Yeah, but I think for the sake of continuity, because there was no reference to whatever conflict is about to happen in the sequel trilogy, I think this is going to be wrapped up a decade or more before.
To the point where, like, it would make sense that,
like, we're not talking about it every day, like, it's not something that's
otherwise
come up.
People in the sequel trilogy would have, like, at least mentioned Thrawn, been like, oh yeah, remember that guy? Like, nobody even remembers him at this point because he's just like
back to your point, maybe he knows about the origins of Starkiller, but he's certainly not around to see it.
Because how long does it take to build an entire
make
a base
planet
that is the
into
size
a weapon?
Of a planet?
Yeah, well, I mean the weapon is the planet is the weapon. So
right.
I mean,
How long does that take? I want to know.
I
Like,
don't decades on decades, I would
right?
imagine.
So like, there's got to be like, especially since like, George Lucas was planting seeds about, the Death Star in like the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even before, Attack of the Clones was the
Sorry, it was
first
Attack
time.
of the Clones. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
But yes, point taken. Yeah, I'm glad this little series exists. It's a great little
if you had to
keyhole.
pick a favorite arc, which was your favorite?
I would say like not I hadn't forgotten about Barriss, but even in the trailer when they indicated that she was going to be one of the subjects, I was like, oh, well, good on Dave Filoni for. I mean, he leaves no
stone unturned.
No stone unturned, and we're gonna go finish that story. I was like, that's fascinating to me. I'd love to
finish
see
the story of the Bendu, Dave Filoni. Finish that.
Bendu, a Star Wars story. But I have to say, for my always forward-looking brain and curious how Star Wars is going to be crafted going forward, I thought the Morgan, the Morgan timeline was, or the Morgan arc was my favorite. More for the tiny little clues it sprinkled in than anything else.
More connective tissue, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, at least like seemingly so far, because I mean, who knows what Dave Filoni has plans. If there is little bits and blips. I guess if we end up seeing if that ever even is a thing, if we ever even see a second season of Obi-Wan, which there are still hints that it might be a thing. Nobody has said 100% no.
And I don't know about you. I don't need it.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. The only thing I like, it was such a good tease, but I wanted it so bad to see. I mean, I don't know, like to see Obi-Wan, shoot the shit with Qui-Gon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was, and perhaps if I had my hands on it, I would have made that a recurring theme instead of a bookmark or a punctuation on the series. I think I would have perhaps made it a running.
Just had him throughout.
But I don't know. I kind of, as far as Obi-Wan goes, I kind of want to leave the rest up to imagination.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good.
Because he was a hermit.
I really don't know how you. Well, sorry, say it again.
No, I was going to say Luke knows him as a hermit. Like when we get to A New Hope,
right.
He's kind of a crazy old, or he's thought of as a crazy old man who lives out beyond the Dune Seas. So I don't think he's doing a whole lot of coming and going. Like.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you top that moment with him? And
I mean, you don't.
You just can't.
What you're absolutely right. What kind of confrontation could have that emotional weight other than, I would say, the one he has in Rebels with Maul? But that's already been covered. Like
that's already done. Right. Exactly.
Done.
Right. If you bring like Obi-Wan and Darth Vader back like again, like it would just take away from that.
No,
experience.
You can't have them.
There's no way to top that.
No, but for the sake of A New Hope, this was already pushing it. Like having them fight.
yes.
Again after Revenge of the Sith. But if you had it happen a second time, it's like,
my God.
So Vader says, "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master." It's like, well, that was 2 days ago, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
I got something else to say.
But I love you and McGregor.
One more thing.
And I don't know how, but I would love to see him get another swing at Obi-Wan and something else. I just don't know what that is.
Yeah, same. I don't know. I would be curious to see, especially since we know that he's been hanging out with Qui-Gon, and one, we obviously know that at the end of Return of the Jedi that, you know, he's back as a Force ghost, so he doesn't know how to hang around.
But Lucasfilm does seem to be signaling that the focus going forward is going to be on the future.
Yeah.
Be it the Mandalorian or Rey or I think their priority, and this is not me casting a judgment on the sequels, but I think their priority is building stories around sequel trilogy characters and perhaps righting some of the perceived wrongs of that trilogy.
For sure.
In a way that the Clone Wars did for the prequels. You know it. And the prequels are now beloved. I mean, Phantom Menace this past weekend made $15 million worldwide.
Absolutely insane.
It's a re-release. I mean, that's one of the biggest re-release grosses in history.
And like the reception in my theater was excellent.
Veronica and I are seeing it tomorrow night, and just the way people talk about the prequels now, I think that's what Lucasfilm hopes people are talking
and Dave
about.
Filoni
the
is
sequels.
like thrilled.
Yeah.
I could see. I mean, maybe, but. Like if they were gonna throw Obi-Wan back in there somewhere, that maybe he communes with Rey, like, you know, or like Rey learns how to commune with, like, because she does at the end of, you know, of Rise of Skywalker, she does kind of commune with every single Jedi that we.
Man, look, like I'm not. Again, this is not. I don't want to cast a judgment here.
Go for it. Do it.
I wish she was a Kenobi.
Yeah, I know. I feel like everybody wants that.
I thought for years, like from 2015
instead of a Palpatine,
up until 2019, I was like, I think she's a Kenobi. I think she's Obi-Wan's. She's the love child of Satine and Obi-Wan, or something. You know,
what a sad story that was too. Yeah, I mean, you could have leaned into that more. I know,
but
it's fine.
It's fine. I mean, there's no going back.
It's what we have.
Right, we have to move forward. She's a
and Dave Filoni needs to teach us how to love it.
She's a Palpatine and a chosen Skywalker, which I don't know how our listeners feel in that regard. I love that she's a chosen Skywalker.
It's cute because it does. It's like it, you know,
found family.
Yeah, exactly. In Star Wars, it's about family, and even if you are a you know, a person without like an actual blood family like she does, you can have a chosen family in that.
Well, and the parallels of, I mean, you can find biblical parallels, but you could even find I'm thinking of other pop culture. Harry Potter, he chooses Gryffindor over Slytherin, even though he's probably destined to be in Slytherin. But so, you know, she's a Palpatine, but she chose to be good. So I like that. I think it works. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this little series.
Me too.
I hope we get more anthology.
I'm certain we will. I mean, if the reception is as good as these have been, like, they're gonna keep pumping these out for sure. One thing that you can be excited about that maybe you didn't know about, because I didn't, is there is a little extra cute look at the Acolyte after the what do you call it?
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace anniversary is showing. Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. And I am so effing excited about that show.
So the Acolyte. Well, I mean, since we're near the end of this episode, have you watched the newest trailer?
I haven't completely, so I need to.
Okay. All right.
If I remember right, because I was kind of like half-assed. I think I like woke up and I was like half looking at it. It looks very familiar to it, because so slight spoiler is, you know, you get like a nice chunky scene of Acolyte, and then it leads into a pretty girthy trailer, and I think it is mostly what this trailer is, I think.
Okay.
So the only thing you're missing from this trailer is the scene that leads into it, which is very cool. Like it made me like Oh shit! I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm very curious about the direction of that show
Mhm.
and perhaps the role of the Sith before the Sith are accepted to be a thing again,
Mhm.
and how they navigate the canon of that.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
by the time of Phantom Menace, Mace and Yoda are saying, the
It's like, oh,
Sith have
they've
been
been
extinct for
extinct
a
for a long
millennia.
time. Right.
So
Well, and this is a millennia before, right?
100 years.
Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting?
I mean, this is 100 years before, so Yoda is definitely around. Um, I
He's
I
all,
don't know. Are they Sith? I mean
you're about
that's
to
also, I
find
think,
out.
yeah. And will our Darth Plagueis theories
Our Darth Plagueis dreams.
bear
Are they going to
fruit?
make our... We'll see.
I doubt
We'll
it.
see.
I
Yeah, I
severely
kind of
doubt
doubt
it.
it
But
too. Because I think that, like, we don't know a whole lot about Darth Plagueis, but I mean,
well, and I think they're more content blurring the lines between whether the legend is real or not.
right. Yeah,
When
because
Palpatine tells
I
it.
was just about to say that, like, we don't know a lot about Darth Plagueis in, like, the Disney verse
Right.
of
We
Star
have a
Wars.
book in Legends, which isn't. I mean, it's great, but it's no longer relevant.
Right.
As far as canon goes, so Palpatine could have been bullshitting, or it could have been a real thing. But I would be. I don't know. I'd be curious.
It'd be neat. It would be neat. It would be neat.
And if let's just hypothetically say that Plagueis was involved in the series again, I don't think so. But if
And he doesn't need to be either.
No, not at all. But if he was, any Jedi that encounter him can't live.
Right.
From a storytelling standpoint,
they got
a reveal like that, they would have to be dead, because otherwise the Jedi would be alerted to.
And that's why he can't be there, because, like, Palpatine, he ain't that old.
No.
No. So
very interesting. I can't wait to see what they come up with.
It's fast paced. It's cool.
Very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Kinda, yeah. There's some pretty dope choreography
Carry-On
going
Moss
on.
doing Matrix with a lightsaber.
Oh my god, it is a gift. That alone, I think, is
it's going to be different, which in and of itself I appreciate. It just feels different than what we've gotten. So let's go. Let's do it.
Just before we go,
yes.
I want to make another shout out, and I know we have, like, said it in the past, but just for the music of, like, the like new music of Star Wars is, like, very unique, and it feels fresh and new, but still very uniquely Star Wars.
Yes.
And there's a lot of good stuff in this Tales of the Empire too. Like, all this, really, really, really good stuff.
Did
and the Bad Batch too. Fuck,
I haven't seen. Did Kevin Kiner do the music for?
I'm almost positive, but wait, let me verify. Clickety clackety clickety clack, click 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 clickety clack.
I don't actually know. I didn't.
The music was done by Daniel Dawson. Wait, what?
What?
I didn't. Oh my god!
Congratulations!
It was so good. What the hell? Why is it not, like, at the top? It should be, like, one of the first things that you see. I'm not seeing music on here. There was music in this show.
No, it was very good and ominous music.
It was good music. What the hell? I see the sound department, but I'm doing me a confuse right now.
I'm not sure.
That's sad. Wait, who wrote the music?
Yeah, Kevin Kiner did it.
It did. Okay, I think it's probably safe to assume at this point that most of the animated stuff is coming from him, and elsewhere.
Is it possible? Not out of nowhere. He's been known to diehard Star Wars fans for a long time, but could he be the heir apparent to John Williams?
I mean, he's
I
definitely
I kind of
being
thought
set up
Michael
for that.
Giacchino was, but Giacchino, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, right.
After Rogue One, which he would
Which was
obviously
excellent.
yeah, he'd obviously be a very worthy choice. But I think Kevin Kiner, his work in Ahsoka in particular.
Oh my god. And Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh.
that was
Well, there was the part of it was John Williams, but then we
yes,
had
a female composer.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
I'm forgetting her name. Forgive me
You're
for
absolutely
forgetting.
Poop.
Was it Natalie Holt? Was that her name?
Oh, that actually does. Yep, you're absolutely right. Natalie Holt and William Ross.
Yeah. William Ross helped integrate some of John Williams's themes, but
Right.
Natalie Holt, but Kevin Kiner, man.
Yeah.
He
he's
gets
killing
Star
it.
Wars. And his unique Star Wars themes are bone chilling.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear you guys talk about if you guys end up doing the episode this week.
on Bad Batch. Yep.
Yeah, about the Bad Batch, because there were some really cool themes in that.
Yeah.
Like that you haven't heard in Star Wars before, but were very cool. Anyway,
well,
should we just end it there then? I
let's
guess
end it.
We're not even
Tales of
talking
the
about Tales
Empire,
of the
man.
Jedi. I mean, geez, what a great show. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a worthy addition into the
4 to 5 Tauntauns out of 5 Tauntauns.
Yeah, fine. I'll give it that.
Excellent work. Good job, Dave Filoni.
Good job, Dave.
Thanks for the morsels.
Daniel is effing off to Peru.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I'm going to Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
I'm going to be in Emperor's New Groove, the musical, so I'm doing some research. No, I'm just joking. I don't know what I'm doing, but
in the spirit of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, I hope you find aliens when you're there.
That is exactly what I'm going to find. That's the only reason why I'm going.
Kate Blanchett in a black bob wig.
I am bringing a black bob wig just in case. And you think I'm joking, but I'm definitely not joking. It is in my suitcase.
You just need to go stand on top of one of the pyramids and yell, "I want to know."
You can guarantee that will be happening. But I'll be back.
But in the meantime, I think Alyssa and I are going to do a series roundup of Bad Batch, and then by the time Daniel's back, what do we have next on the docket?
We have a lot of things. I mean, Acolyte is coming in about a month.
Coming out very soon. So by the time you're back, I think we'll have our 2-episode premiere of The Acolyte, which will be great to cover that. Marvel is slowly kicking back into gear. They've been taking their sweet time, which I think will pay dividends. We've got Deadpool and Wolverine up first.
I'm so excited about that.
I am so excited. The promotional material has not disappointed.
Oh man, they're amping that up so hard. They have to stick that landing, man. It is.
And then they're starting to show promotional material for Captain America: New World Order.
Yeah, which is very exciting too.
And we've seen Harrison Ford as William Ross, and I'm cautiously optimistic that with the time off, Marvel is recalibrating and getting back to what made it so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But plenty to talk about this summer. Stick with us.
Stay tuned.
Make
sure you like and subscribe and tune in.
All right.
Let us know what your favorites were.
Please.
In the comments.
But as always, I'm Dino Nicandros.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
May the Force be with you always.
See ya!
Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.